By Tropical Acres
Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome bay with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a glorious Monday here in fabulous downtown Fort Lauderdale. This is a special remote edition of the Lunchbox. It's been a great weekend of playoff action. I'm here with Jeff Defo DeForest, and we're at Temple Street Eatery in Fort Lauderdale, North Federal Highway, just north of Broward Boulevard, downtown, and with two longtime renowned chefs downtown here, Chef Alex and Chef Diego. Welcome to the Lunchbox, and welcome to our, celebration of Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And thank you for having us out here today.
Yeah, thank you for having us here today. Hope you guys are going to enjoy some of the foods that we're preparing for you guys to showcase.
Absolute pleasure to have you guys. Thank you so much for coming out, really.
Well, let's do a little bit of background here. Give us your stories and the path that led you here to this place, and when did Temple Street open, and what prompted it? And I'll start with Alex first, right?
AAPI, Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, so our heritage. My family's been doing restaurants down here for about 50 years with the Wan's name. And then we decided to
Christina Wan's, who we
yes.
paid a visit to. I guess it was last month. Time melting away, but she was very gracious.
Yep.
I think it was in April.
Yep.
Awesome. And again, the Wan family name with first in Miami and then Hollywood and now Fort Lauderdale. So you have that background.
And then, so she helped us to we started Temple Street Eatery, and Diego and I met actually at FIU Chaplain School Hospitality. And then we met in the kitchens there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want a funny story about that, we'll have to tape it round two. But we met at FIU, became friends, worked together, worked South Beach Wild Food together, worked different events together. Then we went our own ways to work in the industry, and then got back together, and we decided to open Temple Street Eatery here in Fort Lauderdale, almost 9 years now.
9 years.
Wow, 9 years. So that would make it. Let me do my quick math. Like 2014. About that. But for those people who haven't, well, first of all, Diego, let me get your background and history, family history.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from originally from Venezuela, born and raised, and then moved over here, and Chinese background. So kind of like when we were getting to know each other, we always kind of talked about, hey, at school, hey, one day, little kids, we're going to hang out together and we're going to open a business. And then, we all went out on our way, started getting experiences. And one day we just got back together and we're like, hey, that joke that we always talked about? Do we want to make it a reality? And 9 years ago, we said that. And thankfully, here we are, serving our food, doing what we call the Asian American comfort food.
Right. And you blend in a little bit of your Latino, the South American heritage too, right? Now I see up front you have a full-fledged case with the empanadas and things. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So it's kind of like as we were opening this restaurant, we were trying to kind of get ourselves and understand a little bit more of our own identity. And I mean, throughout the years, as we keep doing this and learning, we're finding and learning a little bit more about ourselves. We started more like Asian street food, global Asian street food. So noodles, dumplings, rice bowls, and whatnot. But as the years progress and doing events and talking to our guests, I mean, South Florida is a melting pot. So it's giving us a little bit of opportunity to express ourselves in a different manner, where we could actually, through our food, kind of like showcase a little bit more of what our culture is all about. So, everybody kind of, playing around, calling, hey, the Chino Latino guy that is making food. And somehow I kind of like thought about, hey, how about if I start incorporating a little bit more into our food? So hence you see some of the empanadas that we got going on,
We got that.
The little mini beef and arepas that we got. That one is one of those dishes that we just literally played around. We put it in the menu just to see, hey, is an Asian restaurant gonna sell arepas? And then put it on a special. People loved it. Next thing you know, we took it out and people got so mad at us. And we're like, okay, so there's something going on here. So it gave us a chance to really explore that. And here at year 9, we're kind of like embracing it a little bit more and playing around with our culture and just kind of like talking a little bit more of our identity.
Well, that's become more of a, I guess, a pronounced thing in the restaurant world down here. You see the Nikkei, the blending of the Peruvian and the Japanese cultures, and that cuisine is now represented. And now you have the chaufa, which is the Peruvian and the Chinese, and you're talking Chino Latino. So it's really not that. It's basically people in South America are very familiar with it because there is so much of that Asian culture and Asian immigrants that are a big part of nations like Peru and Venezuela and whatnot. I guess
Cuba and everything.
Cuba and Mexico. I mean, every single country has people start kind of like migrating and whatnot. They take one of the biggest things that they take is their food. And the food usually kind of reflects. I mean, a lot of people will try to recreate their dishes, but at the same time, it's like the ingredients in different, like let's just say Peru, you have like beautiful peppers, you have beautiful potatoes and stuff like that, a lot of beautiful fish. And what happens? The Nikkei food comes along and kind of like create a different type of ceviches and stuff like that, Chinese, there's a thing in South America where it's like, hey, whose Chinese fried rice is the best? The Peruvian ones, the Venezuelan ones.
Have you tried the Guyanese ones? Those are pretty good too.
There you go.
It's the place Tropics and Pembroke Pines. I've become friendly with the owner, but they got some good stuff. But yeah, it's a whole mix down here, and that's what's the beauty of South Florida.
But I think also for me, it was a learning opportunity. With culture and food. I mean, when we were making the arepas, we had Diego's Venezuelan, we had a Nicaraguan, and we had a Colombian, and literally they were like, "You're offending my grandmother," but my mother, but no, in our house. And it was very interesting to see how strong they're passionate about their food and a simple arepa, the different styles to make it, and it really brought their culture, and they were very. It was who they are. It was their identity, and our food. That's how we see it. Our food is really our identity of this is who we are. This is what we love.
Yeah, well, you should see how Defo offends his grandmother when he makes the shredded lechon asado knishes. That's the thing. Okay. Now, Defo, are you? I guess you're a fan of Chinese food, right? Straight up.
I'm pretty much a fan of all food, and I like the variety that you guys have here. Give us a little bit of a description, because I'm assuming that's the signature burger.
That burger right there, yes. I mean, for me, that burger holds a lot of meaning for myself. As it's kind of like a launching pad for me. It's the one dish that gave me confidence to say, hey, I want to really explore opening my own business. And throughout the year, this little burger has kind of like evolved little by little.
Now, what's that called? That's the Kinsu burger?
So this is the katsu burger.
Katsu burger.
Yeah,
Okay.
So katsu is a style of breading certain type of meats. You can be chicken, pork, and
it's like a panko coating.
Yes, so it's Japanese breadcrumbs coated. That was kind of like one of the first dishes. As I started traveling a little bit more, I went to Kobe, Japan, and get out of the train. There's this little shop, and they were serving these little burgers, right? Like these little patties. In Japan, they usually just serve it, just the patty with a little sauce. And I was kind of like, one day when I do my own business, I'm gonna turn it into a burger. So it started, with the egg buns and stuff like that. And as the years progress and whatnot, like this year, I'm like, okay, I'm going to step it up to us a little bit more and now use a bao bun.
It's a bao bun. So that's a rice flour bun.
Rice flour bun.
And it looks like usually the bao bun's a little soft, like small pillow things.
Correct.
It looks like a full-fledged like Kaiser roll almost. How did you get that texture?
So funny thing is kind of like what we were talking about, working with other businesses and stuff like that. Partner up with a really good friend of mine. He does a really great dim sum. He will be at our event this week for AAPI. He's from the Gold Marquez. They have really good dim sum chefs that we got together in the kitchen and started playing around with steaming these buns and trying to get it levitating to the point that we can create this nice fluffy bao bun.
Levitating. I like that. That whole thing. Now, is this pineapple I see on it?
So yes, to kind of like tie it back down.
All right.
To different cultures, right? Latin America, a burger sometimes a pineapple is a must. Colombia does it very well. But I wanted to kind of like play like that instead of putting cheese on it. I mean, you are eating a deep fried hamburger patty.
Okay.
Deep fried hamburger
So,
on a bao rice,
Exactly.
levitating puffy
I'm in.
bun.
Right.
And would you mind if I take a bite? Because
Of
on the
course, of
lunchbox, and
Yeah.
there goes my keto diet. I've been doing so
It's
well.
all over, yeah.
But you know,
That's
once
Monday,
you got to do
everything's
doing
keto,
these,
it's fine, don't worry.
yeah,
Oh,
I
he's
know.
testing that out. What are these are arepas?
Cheers. Those are repitas, yes.
Okay. And
So-
and the
Godzilla.
So then we have this one is a Godzilla ramen as well. So for the Godzilla ramen, it's actually kind of like it came out from a guest. You know, one of the guests came in here. He was a little bit extra hungry that day, and he wanted, you know,
Was he
everything under the
breathing
bowl.
fire? He was breathing fire. Is
He
that
was
why he's
pretty
got
much breathing
so?
fire,
Stomping in here all
Yeah.
hangry and everything.
all hangry like, and he
Like
was
me.
like, "Hey man, let me get something with a lot of meat." And I was like, "Okay, man, you got it." I started throwing things into it, and it became a little bit of a thing. And we started like, "Hey, he goes, this is fire. This is a Godzilla fire." And I'm like, "Okay, Godzilla fire, Godzilla ramen bowl." And we put it into the menu, and it became a little bit, you know, one of our popular dishes. It has pork chashu, Japanese style pork chashu, with our ropa vieja.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit of an Asian Latin mix.
Again, that mashup, that blend,
mashup,
which is
yes.
great, and people love it.
that's your thing. You have to try that. What are you talking
Yeah.
Oh,
about?
I'm going to.
Normally, I would have thought pineapple on a hamburger. Forget about it. I mean, I'm out of here.
How-
But
what do
that,
you
that
think?
is delicious. Yeah.
Yeah.
It works. You know, that's one of those
Awesome.
things. You know, I used to be one of these. What do they call it? The food police. You know, I would say, "Oh,
Yes.
you'd never put pineapple." You know, I used to be kind of averse to putting fruit with my savory things, with
I'm
the
like,
burgers.
We don't
or-
want to get into a
pizza.
fight with pizza
Right,
and
I mean,
pineapple.
I'm with- both me and Defo from Brooklyn. So, like, if you start throwing the pineapple on the pizza, it's like
That's it.
it's
Right.
a declaration
That's
of
it,
war.
right?
But
We're leaving.
But when it makes sense, and in this, it perfectly makes sense. You got the fattiness of the panko breaded burger, and then the kind of the acidity of the sweetness of the pineapple
Yes.
absorbs that, and then you got this bun, which is just completely crazy. It's puffy and it's different than any other traditional flour bun that you'd see here. It's
the thing,
great. It works.
That's another thing. You know, we everywhere you go, you have that small pillow bun.
Yep.
You know,
Yes.
and we want to be the 18,000th store to do the small puffy bun with pork belly. No, because you get that everywhere else. So we want to be a little unique and give you
No,
the actual
very-
bigger adult version of a bun.
Definitely unique. And I'm washing it down now. Tell people, Diego, you made me this concoction right before we went on the air. It's
Yes.
it's called the yin yang, and it's
So that's
like you have a kind of a ventanita, like a
Coffee shop.
Cuban
Right, so
style
look,
coffee shop.
Yeah. So we started a little ventanita. We call it a Chino Latino ventanita. The drinks and everything is a little bit inspired by both the cultures. The restaurant itself is called Temple Street. Temple Street is an ode to a street that in Hong Kong that Alex and myself, whenever we go and visit,
We frequent often.
frequent often. Now we wish we could go back, soon. It's a place that you get a lot of inspiration because it's all street food style restaurants. You got a little market going on, and you get to taste a little bit of all the different type of cultures that are brought into Hong Kong. So when we were trying to open this restaurant, we were kind of like, hey man, what do we call it Temple Street for that ode, right? So the drinks in itself, we try to go about like say, hey, bring some Hong Kong style drinks. In
wow,
Hong
look at
Kong,
that.
it was colonized by the British, so a
Milk
lot
tea.
of teas. Yeah. And they made something like this called the yin yang, that is a blend of black tea and coffee, evaporated milk. That it just works, and
A
it's
little bit of sugar. So
Yeah.
it's actually a blend of both coffee, espresso, and milk, black tea.
correct.
And
Fully caffeinated.
it's
by the
absolutely
way.
delicious. I've
Fully-
never
yeah,
thought
fully
to
caffeinated.
mix.
You would
Oh, yeah.
definitely not go. I mean, it's a thing that you drink in the early morning, kind of like to wake up, get to work. That's what it used to be. This type of drinks help the common people get ready for a hard
Get
day's
ready to
work.
roll. Yeah, lots of caffeine, a little bit of the sugar, and the condensed milk also has more sugar.
Correct.
So you're just shooting the keto right to hell, but it's all good. And we might as well top it off with one of these beautiful empanada pastry shells here.
Yeah,
and what is this stuffed with? This is another.
So this one is a Korean fried chicken empanada. So to kind of like ride into the whole Korean fried chicken craze, we were kind of like, okay, we can make the Korean fried chicken, or how about we play something different with it and get all that same flavors and try to put it into, as a filling for empanada. So we have a really good friend, Alex, a chef that he is focused in making empanadas and stuff like that. We got together with him one day, told us about our idea, some of the recipes, and came up with this one. So on the inside, you have some nice vegetables.
good.
What do you
Nice
think, Mayo?
sweetness from the gochujang.
Yeah, again, you got the sweet heat
That's right,
going.
yeah,
you got
yeah.
the fried, the fattiness, the sweetness picks it up. It's
Again,
it makes perfect sense.
It's not an empanada they're going to find like again in any other store right now down here.
Right.
So we're being very unique with our selections and everything. And
Right.
it's homemade and
Yeah, no, and again, you guys are getting it done with showing and I guess when you first opened, it was more straightforward Asian.
Yes.
Was it right?
So in the beginning, when we just opened, like we were doing more like rice bowls, dumplings, noodle soup. So the noodle soups, you could find like anything from the miso ramens, tonkatsu broth, which Godzilla has it, which is a deep, rich pork broth that we make in house. And then we do the classic Hong Kong style wonton noodles and stuff like that. But
you had some wings too, like some.
we got some nice chicken wings that we dusted with a little bit of our curry adobo and then lightly fried, and you can get some sauces on it. So we kind of went about like that. But I really think that as we started kind of like going as the years started rolling in, it was really nice that the community kind of like pitched in, gave us ideas like what Alex was talking about, our own crew, everybody that came into work, the passion that it shows into what they feel what a dish should be, and it influenced us in again, so that we could go and start kind of like playing a little bit more. And I feel like in a way, throughout the years, we were able to kind of like embrace it, feel more comfortable.
Yeah, you get more confidence as you go along, and
Right.
customers keep coming back. And when you play around, they'll go with you.
Correct.
Which is always a scary thing because some customers want things like they always used to be.
Right. We definitely do have those type of parts where like, you're not authentic or you're not this and we're not that. And me and him, we always looked at each other. We're like, we're far from. My name is Diego. I'm from South America. What part of authenticity am I talking about? We are our own thing.
That's one of those words that bothers me a lot when, on the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group, hello, 105,000 and change strong. When people say, oh, I'm looking for the most authentic this or that. I mean, everything around this world has been a mashup forever.
Right.
People borrowing from different cultures, and heck, even Marco Polo with the, got pasta from China. So when you say, oh, I want the most authentic this, to me, I just like to put that word out. Yeah, it might be something that you were used to growing up, wherever that may have been. But I'm all for this whole food exploration and going forward into places that are absolutely unexpected and delicious. Like that empanada.
That's a
is
home
one-
run. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the best things they've had.
I think
and then
there was a fear at one time where it was too much of a mashup and became confusion.
As long as you're breaking it down, you may as well get in on one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it became confusion, but now people really understand the food and it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it tastes good.
We definitely our day one when we opened this restaurant, we were so nervous because as we look at around 9 years ago, we looked at our menu. We're thinking something like ramen. Is it gonna work in South Florida? It's so hot here, And we were kind of like,
and you were at the forefront of that. Now there's a ramen shop on every other corner practically, and you've got down in Miami all these kind of chef. The Iron Chef came in and he has his own ramen shop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so you were obviously you could tell at the forefront of something that people were receptive, and it's not a traditional sit down restaurant. That's another thing. It's I guess what they call fast casual. You come in, you order. And then how does it work here? Do people have to come up and get it, or do they bring it to the tables?
There's options. So, the options is you can come up to the table, order the table, or of course, the technology now, we can also order at the QR code of the table. And then, but what's interesting, what's nice here is that we actually do provide a little service. We actually run the food out to you. You don't have to come and get it. You don't have to yell out your name or number anywhere. So
Right.
we actually run the food out to you, and then you eat and dine, and then you can again take your plates away yourself, or we can help you out with that as well. You know, we offer beer, wine,
it's not
sake,
formal or fancy. I know when
No.
I used to come here when you guys first opened with my daughter when she was younger, and she'd love coming here because her big thing was she'd hate having to wait for the check to come. And this is those places where you pay it at the beginning, and you get your food, and then when you're done, you could just leave. And although in our case, we usually had to box up some leftovers because it was too good to leave. But again, we're here at Temple Street Eatery. It's in downtown Fort Lauderdale at what is it, 416 North Federal Highway.
4 blocks north of Broward.
Yep, and it's in that whole, well, now across the street is that whole bustling neighborhood of Flagler Village and all the apartments and all the young hipsters. And that wasn't here when you first opened, right?
When we first came, we saw those 2 buildings, and then that was about it. Now everything else has popped up beside, after that last few years.
So the community supports you here, that whole demographic, they like it.
Absolutely. It's awesome to see. We want to also build a community with our culinary friends. We've also been able to build the community's been very nice to us here locally. We have people that walk over here every Friday for lunch, every Friday for happy hour at night. It really, they become a family. They come support our events. We usually host a few events throughout the year. One is our Chinese New Year event. We also do our anniversary party.
We used to throw a Cinco de Mayo party as well, which was kind of like interesting and
before all the taco shops opened up.
Yes.
Right.
We're friendly with everyone. We love everyone, but yes, before everyone came through, it's like.
And now, speaking of events and also networking, that brings us to this weekend. This Sunday, you guys are hosting a brunch, but you were explaining to me it's kind of in conjunction with several other Asian eateries around the county, and that you want to kind of make it so that it's some of these businessmen and entrepreneurs from the Asian community and women get together. Can you explain a little bit what's going on this weekend and how do people get involved if they want to come and take part?
Sure. I mean, what we were trying to do, the month of May, it is AAPI Heritage Month, celebrating all Asian American Pacific Islander culture. We were kind of like talking about, hey, man, as we open this restaurant, we always wanted to be part of the community, trying to help. I do believe in paying back the community. It's always a good way to connect and kind of learn from each other. And there was one thing, restaurant tours in itself, we were always so busy that we don't get to kind of connect as well as we would like to. The Asian community in itself, the culture. Growing up, I'm sure Alex understands what we're talking about. The Asian community, sometimes, we're pretty diverse, but we also kind of like to keep to ourselves a little bit. Right. I think the younger generations kind of wants to express themselves a little bit more and kind of just connect and learn from each other and kind of help each other out. So we talked to, a couple of friends, said, hey, man, this is something that we were trying to do and want to see. And it was everybody was like, hey, man, I want to do this too. I want to go to this. So at first we wanted to do a bigger event, but as everything else, we wanted to test out the water, see how it goes.
Right.
Start small.
This weekend you're going to be here at Temple Street Eatery.
Yes. So we're going to be here at Temple Street Eatery. We invited 3 other restaurants to join us to create a collaborate menu. We have Jib or Go Marquez. That they're doing a Chinese dim sum. We have Ichimura, which opened in downtown Fort Lauderdale. They do ramen rice bowls as well, but one of their signatures is Peking duck. Okay. So they'll be bringing that over here. And then over in Pembroke Pines, we have a friend that makes tea. So he has a boba shop called Leaf House.
Okay.
He's very passionate about all his drinks. He actually brews all his tea from loose leaf. Which is something that is, it's very remarkable because a lot of work in that process. So he said, hey, I want to join. So we have the 3 different restaurants, but we wanted to go beyond just restaurants. Right. We wanted to talk and celebrate entrepreneurship. So we do have other friends that are kind of a really good friend of ours that she is a nurse practitioner, but now she kind of left the medical field completely and she wanted to focus on making clay earrings and jewelry and stuff like
Earrings and
that.
jewelry. Okay, so she'll be out here selling some of her wares.
Yeah, so she'll be
So
selling
this is
that
taking place this Sunday, right?
this Sunday.
And if people wanted to come, and it's like a multi-course meal, or
It's gonna
sit
be
down, or
communal style. We call it dim sums with friends. Dim sum is a style of eating in the Guangdong area or the Chinese southeast area, where basically it means to touch your heart. Dim sum actually, like, translate to touch your heart, and it's little small tapa style. Everything comes out all at once. Everybody gets to share, talk, and just socialize. It's a good way for. We're doing it in the morning time. Is to connect and just feel like a family.
Right. Exactly. Also, Polly Proud is going to be here doing some entertainment for us as well. So it really is bringing the local community. Really,
Yes.
Nice.
We're not excluding anyone, but we really want to reach out to our local community,
Right.
Asian owned, and highlight them.
Yes.
And we're really coming together as a community.
Yeah.
On Sunday, in partnership also with Yelp is helping us out on Saturday with their private event.
right? You're doing a Saturday event with Yelp, and then a Sunday is
Sunday,
kind of
right.
again the with the other Asian businesses.
Right.
And
Correct.
again, if people are there space available? Is there space available?
There's still space. You can
On
go to
Sunday.
Temple Street Eatery, TempleStreetEatery.com.
Okay.
And you'll see the link right there at the very top, and just click that.
TempleStreetEatery.com, the website, or you could go on their Instagram account, which is also at Temple Street Eatery. And there's all kinds of links that you could click on if you're interested in coming out this Sunday.
Yep.
Or you could come out here any day. They're open 7 days a week here at Temple Street Eatery with all kinds of interesting mashup. And I got to say, I finally went in for my keto-friendly bites.
There you
and
go.
the mashup of the
You
ropa
got to dive
vieja
into that soup
and
there.
that char-siu.
Yeah.
The char-siu is absolutely delicious, and it's making my
Yeah,
keto heart
really good.
happy with that.
These are great also. Absolutely fantastic. Now, do you guys do catering also? Or, I mean, if
Yes, we
somebody was throwing a big party,
Yeah.
you guys
We
can
also
handle
do. We also start doing catering. We can customize the menus and whatnot. That we do happy hour as well. We also host happy hours for like corporate events or birthday parties. We just had a graduation the other day and also a baby shower.
Oh, cool.
So we kind of catered a lot to different style.
This would be great stuff. Somebody has a party. I mean, very unusual, a little different
Yeah,
than
some
the
nice
standard
simple
fare.
foods.
Small
I didn't even
bites,
get
yeah.
into the healthiest thing here, which is what do we have? This is like a
So
reach for
salmon.
that.
Yeah, so since it is AAPI, that is one of the dishes that we're gonna be highlighting. That salmon is the lomi lomi salmon. Lomi lomi is a very popular Polynesian dish that is served as a side dish during a luau.
I might
It
have
said
lost
a
my
little bit. It's
rights.
okay.
See, they made it keto friendly for
Made
me.
it
so-
keto friendly right over there. But yeah, like it's a sushi grade salmon that is marinated in a little bit soy, garlic, a little bit of chilies.
Oh wow, that's great.
Wood ear mushrooms. Like I said, very good for the luau. Wanted to do a little ode to Hawaiian Polynesian,
Nice.
culture as well. So that's kind of like the dishes going there on Sunday as well.
Well, everything here has been a hit so
Yeah,
far.
yeah. I could eat 20 of those.
We're going
Those
to
are
take our
fantastic.
first break, and we'll come back. We'll chat a little more with Diego and Alex about more of the happenings here at Temple Street Eatery here in Fort Lauderdale. But we'll be back after these words. Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Well, we're back here on the Lunchbox on a Monday, and we're at Temple Street Eatery in downtown Fort Lauderdale, right here on North Federal Highway. Same shopping plaza as the Fresh Market. And we're with Alex and Diego, our the chef partners here. They're going to be having a big, nice brunch this Sunday coming up on the 28th in celebration of Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And if you're interested in coming out, I'll be here on this Sunday too. Go to TempleStreetEatery.com. And some people that are watching on our chat line, they were more interested about the, I guess, the happy hours. Now, it's beer and wine only here you have, and what do you do in the way of the happy hours?
Yes, so we do serve beer and wine only, but at the same time, we're able to make cocktails based out of beer and wines and sake as well.
Soju is the stuff that you use, right?
We got shochu, and I mean, for us, we use sake more.
Okay.
There is a plum sake that we use that is very similar to the Korean shochu. That is the ume plum sake. In that one, we kind of like created a concoction, like a cocktail called the ume sake paloma. Usually I use tequila and whatnot, but in this case, we use the plum sake, use a little mango bobas. We mix it up with a little lihing powder, or what it is. It's kind of like very similar to a chamoy. Wanted to play on a michelada, but in a cocktail form. A lot of plum flavor, very nice tartness to it. We also have beer mimosas or shandy made with yuzu.
And this is Monday through Friday, or when does the happy hour
We do
run?
Monday through Friday. Happy hour is from 4 o'clock to 7 p.m. And then on the weekends, we usually do it backwards from 12 to 5.
Okay.
So
every day there's something.
Every day. And then there is also food that is available that are half price or, a little bit of discounted prices that we can say. Summertime, we will be revamping that menu and probably start coming out with more shareable plates and stuff like that, as a lot of our guests has asked for it.
We want to really highlight, at Temple Street, our food is homemade as much as possible. We make our broths, our dumplings home. We can actually get the community together, like our bows and empanadas, and we really like to share our culture. And one way we've actually done that really, really awesomely is actually we've had people come in and take dumpling classes with us. And we've taught them how to make dumplings, share our different kind of folds of dumplings, different fillings. We've done it in-house and out-house with South Beach Wine Food Festival. So it really is trying to bring our culture of who we are and our background and really share that. And it's awesome that we have this month with AAPI be able to do that with our friends.
Nice.
As well.
Yeah, no, and I know you guys have always been philanthropic minded, building community, but also helping out different the charities. And I know there was that one event, the No Kid Hungry, that seems like COVID kind of pushed it, off to the sidelines for a few years now. But
we were involved with that when we were both at FIU. That's how we first got involved with it.
Yeah.
And then our friend Andy Villabona has taken that over. But we're again anything to do with kids, and
right.
We've helped out Joe DiMaggio as well. We're helping out with Phil from
from the Food and Wine
Food
Festival.
and Wine Festival. I think we're trying to do an event with them next
Great.
festival, focusing again on the Asian community in South Florida, trying to highlight some of the, like Diego said, some of our Asian communities sometimes it gets a little
insular, or
right. So we're trying to break that and make sure that there's a representation and exposure.
Do you think it's the younger generation that are more into branching out and being, I guess, not as a closed network? And again, when you go to different Asian restaurants around community. They're all very welcoming. Anybody can go in there. It's
Oh,
just
absolutely.
that,
We I think that we owe them a lot of gratitude for setting the foundation. Some of the places. That's how Diego and I during FIU. That's we ate at most of those places. But most of those places also are very much run by them. So for them to actually go and do an event, it would probably be almost nearly impossible. That to shut the restaurant down or something to send to go out there. So the young population, the younger generation, is able to break away and have someone else watch a shop while someone else goes and represents the shop somewhere else. And now with all the local markets around, it's a great opportunity to do that.
Yeah. So now, I guess the natural question is, after 9 years, almost a full decade, did any thoughts of expansion or bringing the Temple Street concept to different parts of either Broward or the South Florida counties?
Definitely, we have definitely thought about doing this type of stuff. Like, we want to say that, we had about 9 years of testing out, playing around, like really finding our own identity, our own voice to see how it is. And now, like, we're kind of like, after the pandemic and everything else, I feel like it is time for us to kind of like talk a little bit more and share that with different communities. So definitely an expansion is coming in.
We would just say that anything, our news break is always on Instagram. So make sure you sign up on Instagram, follow it, and any exciting news we always share on
You'll
there.
be first to know. All
You
right.
will be the first, and that is how you know. Yes.
Do
So
people
what's the-
understand what you guys are doing? Like, somebody comes in off the street first time, do they realize how much detail you put into all of the different things you have on the menu? And what would be like the most common things that people order when maybe they don't have the kind of deep-rooted familiarity that a Mike Mayo might have with this type of food?
Right. I mean, for us, it's definitely kind of like a trial and error. Some guests are more interested. Like, some guests will definitely more open to see it. Some of them are a little bit more reserved. We really try to kind of like, even to the point that we showcase our menu at the restaurant.
Yeah.
We put no descriptions on the board. There's a reason for that, because we really wanted to have a little bit of a connection. Let the guests know, hey, ask me any questions, because it is a little bit hard to kind of like explain to somebody.
Right. Normally you're ordering an empanada. You're thinking,
Right.
Okay, it's an empanada.
Exactly.
You get it at any Mexican place.
Guava trees and everything.
So
that's very unusual, and I don't know that everybody would be aware that that's the
Right.
kind of thing they're going to get.
I mean, definitely the first couple of years, as we were playing around with it, we did hit a little bit more of those obstacles where guests were kind of like, hey, man, this is not, it's not an authentic thing, or this is not the right thing, or whatnot. But then, like, there's other people, like I said, like, South Florida is a melting pot. The people here are liking to try something new. So they came in, they try it, and we share, and, we kind of like say, hey, if you like it.
It's always good to be pleasantly surprised by, how
Right.
My barometer
much better than
is,
average,
is it delicious,
these things
and
are.
do I
Yeah.
want more? And then
Right.
it-
Our staff really goes out their way to try to explain the menu to you and break it down, and so find something you like.
Well, it's good to have the board that shows the different dishes, too, because I wanted to order one of everything.
Right.
But when I saw that stuff flashing there, it all looked fantastic. And the bowls you do, besides
those
the ramen bowls.
Is that the biggest seller, the ramen, or what's?
Godzilla ramen is one of the big seller. Our rice bowls, the bulgogi bowl, and the cheesesteak sandwich is also one of those.
That's right. You
big
do
seller.
a bulgogi cheesesteak. Is that?
Yes. So we do a little different take on the Philly cheesesteak by mixing cooking the meat with marinades, bulgogi
is a
marinade, Korean style
dish,
one,
right?
and then mix it with a little provolone cheese and a little nice hoagie, and you just got an
I
extra.
think that South Florida in the last 9 years have come a long way. I think in the beginning we did have a lot more people that came in that didn't know what bulgogi, didn't know what shoga.
Right.
They thought miso soup was literally the miso soup you get at every Japanese restaurant with the tofu
Right.
and the
the
scallion.
seaweed.
Right.
And then
There
actually
was always one little piece of tofu at the
Right,
Chinese
exactly.
restaurant I used to go to. One little piece. that
just
was
floating there.
It's just for a little texture thing there.
Yeah,
No, but I think that after the 9 years, we've seen a lot more influx of people. More people have traveled. Between pandemic, people are a little more aware of what bulgogi is, what a gochujang is, and before we were trying to really bridge that gap with some of our dishes. Kimchi quesadilla we have. People are like kimchi. You bury it? I was like, no, we don't have space in Florida to bury it. But we do make kimchi quesadillas, but now
So-
people are more aware of.
Excuse
those
my
dishes.
ignorance, but I haven't had one. So you mixing it with cheese also, like in a quesadilla form?
So we made a simple quesadilla with our chicken. It has cheese. It has some cilantro in there, and then
Is it like Mexican cheeses, Asiago? Or,
Asiago cheese, Jack cheddar, and then
see, this is what I find interesting because, and when you said the bulgogi cheesesteak, when you think Asian food, like you usually never see any cheese in a Asian restaurant.
It is an interesting thing because in Korea, because of the American going in there,
For the Korean War,
for
right?
the Korean War, the base. One of the more popular dishes in the younger generation is the Korean army stew. Is that what it's called? So inside it's literally Vienna sausage, spam, ramen, kimchi, and you have all this. But one of the biggest component is American cheese.
Oh, they throw in little American cheese.
They throw
cubes
American
over
cheese
there.
into it, so it's kind of like gives it that nice creaminess. And the Korean culture, they eat a lot of that. And now there you have things like you see out there where they're making corn dogs and they wrap it in cheese and mozzarella cheese and stuff like that. So the quesadilla is kind of like our ode to that.
See, the American contribution,
It's,
bringing heart
yeah,
disease
we
and coronary
screw up everything. I mean,
blockages
it's
to
amazing.
the whole world.
Have a slice of cheese with that. You have a falafel pita I saw on the menu.
Yeah,
that's a little bit of a deviation from
the
rest of it.
falafels. The
Yeah.
falafel is kind of like in Venezuela. We do have a little bit of Mediterranean backgrounds, over there. So it was kind of like a thing that I was, I'm not gonna lie. It was a day I don't get drunk too much.
No, but don't worry. He takes medical things that always inspires him.
Once I got on Medicare, the sky's the limit. I'm willing to risk death to eat something good.
Yeah, so
sure.
it's kind of like after a night out, I just kind of like just wanted to eat some falafel, start playing with recipes, and came out with it with edamame, some tofu, some curry powder.
You should see the things I do when I get drunk and stoned at night. It's not pretty.
Yeah.
He
So
clearly is a hungry drunk,
yeah, I get hungry. And
Yeah,
I
but
start
he's
doing
eating
that
frozen Skyline chili, whereas
Oh.
you could come in here and get something really good, to kind of
Mike,
offset
we
the
gotta
booze.
talk,
Yeah,
Mike.
yeah.
We all have our
yes.
shameful skeletons in the closet.
Yeah.
Wow, this is so good. I'm very, very pleased to finally get out here to Temple Street to do a show.
Great stories,
Diego
too. Yeah.
and
Thank
Alex.
you so much, guys.
If you've never been out here, you really should come because like some of these things that they're doing, that katsu burger is now that I'm keto, I would maybe take it off the rice bun, but kind of still cheat with those panko breading on the side. That's delicious. It's really
Just eat the rest of it.
yeah.
Do us all a favor.
I'm gonna
Yeah, yeah.
kind of take
Go
a
with the
bite.
meat. Go with the keto
Oh,
meat.
Lubie's out. Lubie's out.
Did I just ruin it for him? That's it.
Normally, you would have just picked that whole thing up and
Oh look,
swallowed
I
it
have
now.
more here.
Got some
Leave it.
more over
Oh,
there.
There you
Go
go.
for it.
Delicious,
Yeah, but
juicy burger.
every one of our dishes, it's not just up there to be up there. It really does. There's a story behind a lot of our dishes. The rapist dish, the falafel dish,
Fantastic.
as a homemade with tofu and edamame and actual chickpeas and curry. So
It really is like a walk through our lives,
Yeah.
of like how South Florida, or in my case, like, Latin America influenced all the people that we got to meet, whether we're going to school. I
Right.
mean, the way that we met at school, it's kind of like, hey,
Yeah, that's the
So-
Florida story. You meet
Oh,
people, different backgrounds and cultures.
exactly. And we
Next
embrace
thing you
it.
know, you're going
not
in
a great
business
thing
together.
here. Yeah.
we're
And if a guy wanted to have sort of a light lunch that was healthy for him at the same time with a ton of flavor, and they're over there in a business district, or maybe they're a lawyer, they're getting hammered right now in some kind of a case. What a great release, to come out here just a couple of blocks away from downtown and, release all of that stress and have some great food.
By having some great
Very,
foods,
very
great
unusual, innovative stuff. Very
And
nice.
It's fast casual, and everybody comes in, and it's it's good to see you guys going strong after 9 years. I am so glad that again that you're going to be able to bring the community together this Sunday. Then
You coming
both
out,
days this
Mike
weekend.
Mayo?
I
Sounds
will
like
be out
you're
this
on your way.
Sunday.
Yeah.
live every Sunday over here.
Yep.
Very nice. All right.
TempleStreetEatery.com. Check it out for more details.
Nice job,
if
guys.
you want
Yeah,
to get
these
in
guys
on
are
the
great.
Sunday brunch, Alex and Diego will be happy to have you. And we're very pleased. Thanks so much again for
Thank you
having
very
us
much.
out here
thank you
today
for
and
having
us over here.
feeding us. And
Pleasure, man. That was
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah,
I'm going to
great
start
little
slurping the
education.
bowl after
That's
you
all
leave.
you. That's
all
his thing
mine.
right there. Yeah.
It's all good. All right, we're going to be back to wrap up this edition of the Lunchbox after these words. Beach Cafe. It's a South Florida landmark, and it's one happy restaurant right on the water. Tables literally on the beach. a place where you could dip your toes in the sand, kick back, relax with island vibes, tropical drinks, and live music daily. You know it. It's at One Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. And of course, it has Chef Chris Nealon and his famed Caribbean Floridian cuisine with a huge menu with something for everyone: seafood, raw bar, conch fritters, burgers, sandwiches, salads, deli specials, and of course, that famous Bimini bread. They've got a great staff that'll take great care of you. There's something to celebrate every day, open 7 days until late, parking available on site, happy hour weekdays 4 to 7 p.m. Go check out more at arubabeachcafe.com. Better yet, go in there yourself at Aruba Beach Cafe. Good food, drinks, friends, and laughter are always the catch of the day. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all: Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Welcome back to a Lunchbox, coming to you live from Temple Street Eatery in downtown Fort Lauderdale. Again, thanks to Alex and Diego, gracious hosts. They just
Interesting cuts,
covered
man. Yeah.
the table with all kinds of good food. The they call it the Chino Latino, Asian and South American, Latin American mix here. It's all good stuff. A couple of sponsor notes. So we've got today is Monday, of course, Tropical Acres. It means it's half-price wine night there tonight and tomorrow. You might want to get in there. And also, they are now running their twin lobster specials. That's 2 Maine whole lobsters steamed fresh for you, and 2 of them for $39 with a salad and side dish. That's every Monday through Friday night available. You want to go in there, see the Studiali family. They'll take great care of you. Of course, Tropical Acres, 2500 Griffin Road. Looks like we're going to have ourselves a pretty jam-packed week here on the Lunchbox. The rare 5-bagger where we're going to do 5 remote shows in 1 week. Today we're here at Temple Street. Tomorrow looks like we're going to be at Shenanigans Sports Pub to basically just celebrate and marvel at this incredible sports run, playoff run of the Heat and Panthers. It just keeps continuing.
Yes.
And it's like a game of, can you top this? You know,
Honestly.
anything you can do, I can do better.
Yep.
You know, the Panthers win, the Heat wins, the Heat wins, the Panthers win. And now, you know, the Heat, an unlikely position of being up 3-0 and a chance to close out the 97% chance of winning Celtics.
Well, what an embarrassment the Celtics were yesterday. You know what?
That was
You
shocking.
see a lot of times in sports where, you know, a team fails to rise to the occasion, but to fail that miserably in that spot with the
Nobody
Celtics,
expected that.
that
And
was insane.
I don't know what that shows. It shows that have they quit? I mean, everybody thought it was going to be desperation time for the Celtics. They were going to come out and fight tooth and nail, and that if the Heat managed to grind out that third victory, it was going to be hard fought. Instead, it was like
Yeah, it was cake.
they laid over. I've passed out on the couch because I was nursing a really bad
You
cold.
didn't need to see much.
I woke
in
up.
the
I
second
saw
half.
they were
Yeah.
up by almost 30, and I was like, "What the heck? That can't
They
be
got out
right."
by 32 at one point, or
Yeah.
33.
And I just was in utter disbelief. And all these experts, everybody who follows basketball so closely all year long, of all these experts, how many of them predicted that the Heat could actually win in a sweep or would be in position to be up 3-0 to win in?
They didn't predict
4
the
or
But
Heat
I'm
to
not
win any
asking for
games.
that.
Yeah.
My issue was to refer to you're 3 rounds into the playoffs, and to refer to the regular season in your analysis.
It's
Showed how little you
useless.
watch the Heat, and that was my issue. It wasn't about picking. I hate the prognostication crap because we know what sports is. Like, it's not a science. That's fine if you're wrong, but to go from when it was a 97% to 3, they didn't say that was wrong. They didn't laugh at that. They're like, yeah, it's about right.
They
It's
should
like,
have
what are you
laughed at
watching,
that.
guys? Like, come on.
Recent form. Defo and I, horseplace.
Yeah.
Recent form is the biggest thing. And anybody who's been paying any kind of attention for the last 3 or 4 weeks since the playoffs began see that the Heat is a completely different team, completely different animal. They've turned it up a notch. Jimmy Butler is incredible. The coaching is airtight. They make the right moves, and they know how to slow down and not panic. Whereas this Celtic team, I don't know who this coach is. What is his name?
Joe
Mazzulla.
Mazzulla.
Masamoto or Quasimoto? I mean,
You know what helps? Here's the simplest analysis, though, of the whole thing.
Yeah.
It really helps if you make shots. Yes. And all season long, the Heat were horrible from 3-point range. It was an enigma because
But it was weird.
they were the
exactly.
best shooting team from 3-point range last year when they made the finals, almost took out the Celtics there. All of a sudden, as if, and Lubie has the magic wand theory, as if Spolster had waved a magic wand, they have 3 guys yesterday to go 25 for 36 from 3-point range,
Right.
and the Celtics are 1
and
for
that's
14 with
without
their
even
stars.
their biggest and most
The best scorer, second best
reliable
scorer, yeah.
3-point shooter in the form of Tyler Hero, right? And he's out, and they still are getting it done. But beyond that, it's, look, the Heat are getting it done, but I'm surprised the way that Boston has just folded in key moments of the fourth quarter of the first 2 games with the turnovers and things. And then that coach, after that first game, I knew something was off because when the coach starts talking about, we still won 3 out of 4 quarters.
Yeah, he said it
When
early.
the coach should be lighting a fire under the
Exactly what he
team's
said.
butt,
Problem is,
saying
you lost the
we
game.
totally messed up at the end. We need to get a lot better. We need to focus. We don't need to turn the ball over. Better, ball management skills at the end. And no, he wasn't trying to light a fire. He was trying to coddle his team,
Yes.
we
Yes.
have a moral victory. We're very close and we were winning. And it's like they got blown out in the third quarter of that first game. And just the signs were all wrong for the Celtics from the beginning. And here we are on the verge of, I don't want to say anything yet, but
Don't jinx it.
Yeah.
okay,
Do us
one
a
game
favor.
at a time.
Yes,
the Panthers,
That's where I'm at.
Very
with both of
exciting
them.
time.
they keep
though.
performing their magic. The Heat, they keep doing what they do. And soon enough, we'll be thinking of maybe 2 teams in the, their respective championship final rounds. And can we dream of a combined parade celebration? Will it
I
be
mean, I think they've earned
down Biscayne
separate
Boulevard and then
parades,
up the
but
New River? What are they going to do?
I'd rather separate ones, but I'm
I-75.
not even getting there
Let's
yet.
block off I-75.
Just do the
Let's
whole
go
thing.
up and down. Everybody's moving west
And
anyway.
I got sidetracked.
Yes.
You got
We
the
need to talk
contest
about
where we
our
have to pull the winner.
contest
Come on.
winner.
Wait. So tomorrow shenanigans, and we'll be talking with Pat Utter about this whole playoff insanity.
Yeah,
It's
if
great.
anyone's enjoying
And
right
we
now, it's a
also
sports
do
pub.
have to,
Sports
pay
pub.
wish condolences to
Yeah.
Pat and his wife Christine, the co-owners of Shenanigans. Christine just lost her mom. We do send our condolences.
I mean, soup with
to
a
them.
fork, by the
them.
way.
So
He was like,
again,
"This is for you,
tomorrow,
Mayo," and he's like picking his
tomorrow
favorite.
Shenanigans. Wednesday, we're going to be at Even Keel Fish Shack. Hopefully, Brad will be there.
Nice.
And but even if he's not, they always feed us well, and that'll be Lauderdale by the Sea.
Always have a
Even
great
Keel
time
on
there.
Wednesday. Thursday, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood
Oh,
Market
yeah.
for our monthly visit.
Yeah.
Again, with the great people from Performance Food out of Miami. This time, they're going to be spotlighting their pork products
Nice.
for the summertime.
You
grilling
said the
season.
magic word, my favorite food.
Ribs and kind of pork tenderloin, pork chops, all
Oof.
kinds of things that you can do with pork on a grill. Slow rubbed, spice, dry spice rub, all that good stuff on the ribs. That's Thursday at Delaware Chicken and Seafood Market. Again, DelawareChicken.com to go on there for all their weekly specials. And Friday we'll be wrapping up
Where
at
we always
one of
wrap
our
up our
favorite
Wow,
places.
what a great weekend it was all the
Gulfstream
way
Park.
around.
And that brings us to this week's contest. You see, there's no hat. There's
Really?
no
Only one
tiebreaker.
winner. Yeah.
You know who it was?
Bonnie.
Our friend Bonnie
Really?
DePazio.
You did it. All
Good for you,
right.
Bonnie.
Congrats, Bonnie.
Nice.
This was great because in the Gulfstream feature race, she picked number 8 horse because that was her late husband Richie's favorite number. She said, anytime she's in doubt, she just picks the number 8. Well,
Nice.
sure enough, the number 8 horse won the contest race at Gulfstream.
Wow.
It was Wide West was named that horse. A little
And
bit
that
of a
eliminated everybody else.
it was a
around the
little bit
restaurant?
of a medium
Yeah.
priced horse. There was only 3 out of 30 contest entrants who had the 8 horse. So
Okay.
it went
Oh,
to the
3 did.
tiebreaker.
Oh, wow.
The tiebreaker this week was picking the Preakness. So
She had that.
here was this was kind of an odd
She had
way
the
to win.
scratch horse.
All right. 3 people picked the number 8 at Gulfstream. One of them didn't submit a pick in the Preakness, so they were out.
they're out.
They
Yeah, they're
finished
out.
last.
Wow.
That's fine. You said it.
2 of them, Bonnie submitted what looked to be the longest shot in the field, Chase the Chaos. The other one who got the 8 horse, Neil Epstein, picked the wise guy horse, number 6, Perform, Shark
Oh, that was
McGahee.
ugly. I was
And
all over that horse with my friend.
so you know what
course you
happened?
were.
Chase the Chaos finished 5th,
Okay.
and Perform finished 6th. So Bonnie wins the
Ah.
tiebreaker because her
Finish
horse
better.
finished
I can
ahead of the
so
other
it
one.
goes by
We're out.
bracketology. Yeah.
No need for any slips. Bonnie, you and a guest
Congratulations. Bonnie.
will get a brunch for 2, including that mimosa and tax and tip at Gulfstream's 10 Palms Sunday brunch buffet. Any Sunday that you want between now and the end of June. I'm not saying you have to take me as a date.
I was going to say, I think maybe I was going to angle
well,
for
I'm
I don't know
available
if,
anytime to go to the
Mustang is
track.
working,
Yeah,
or maybe Lubie if Shirley is out of town
She'll be
on
very
some
happy
business.
I'll give you a ride down there,
Or
Bonnie.
maybe Andy
Yeah,
if
right.
if he
Oh,
can
yeah, those
behave
2.
himself.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Those 2 are cooking up a relationship.
That would
It's
be
great.
good.
Yeah.
so anyway, congrats, Bonnie. Well
That's it?
done. She was in the hat enough this year. So I think that's about it. We just
Really good stuff. How would you rate everything, Mike Mayo, in your food
I
critic
haven't done the
mode?
burger. The
This
burger looks
place is-
spectacular.
You didn't really dive into that.
No,
I
I'm
thought
gonna
the beef
start-
in there is outstanding.
Here, you want
Yeah.
me to close it out with
pork
the true
belly
Mike
was
Mayo
Close it out with a
style?
full bite of that thing.
No,
man.
here's one.
I-
I'm gonna pick
Oh,
up
drink
some
the
soup. I'm
soup.
gonna
Yeah,
start
yeah, there you
slurping the soup.
There you go.
There you go. Now
Very
you're
good.
talking. Mike Mayo, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Mayo's Lunchbox.
Keto friendly. Oh wait, I didn't get into the mystery of who
Temple
sent me
Street
these cold
Eatery.
tablets. I was nursing this horrible cold all weekend long. I was in bed most of the weekend. All of a sudden, on my doorstep yesterday, shows up an Amazon delivery, and it's a pouch that's addressed to me, my address. I open it up, and there's no return address, and it's a package of these like zinc tablets, cold and flu remedy. I forget what it was
How
called.
many did you take?
Well, it's called what is it called? Sambucol, black
I just thought
elderberry.
he didn't order
Was
it.
the return address Montana? Was it Ted Kaczynski sent this to you?
And
I
of
mean,
course, like without even knowing who sent it or where
You
it
took
came
it?
from,
Wow.
I just started taking it because I was feeling
that's
that lousy.
hypochondria right there. Yeah.
And then I asked, I asked several people,
Yeah, I wouldn't have
including
said
like
it too.
Valerie.
but
I mean, I asked people in my sphere, and everybody said no, it wasn't me, including my daughter. Shell and Bonnie, and I don't know. Have we gotten to the point now, Defo, where just Amazon
No.
knows that you're sick and will automatically
They just
ship
send
things
stuff,
to
You
your
yeah,
have
house?
to order it.
A new
Even
pair of
though-
shoes shows up. I'm like,
AI.
I didn't order any sneakers. Well,
I think AI is now at the point. I'm not even an Amazon Prime member, and they're sending me things. It was very
Just
bizarre.
just take the
order.
stuff and let's
If
hope
it
you
was
get better.
anybody in the Lunchbox viewing crowd, thank you, I
Well, how
guess.
do they have
But
your address?
it's still, how would they know my address? It's very creepy. Unless I
just-
took an Ambien on Saturday night and
I'm
just
thinking that's what
ordered
happened.
it without even realizing.
I
it.
feel
But
like
no,
that's
I
what
did
happened.
not.
Uh-huh.
I did not do that. I can't find any credit card
I
slips.
just find it funny, like people get random stuff sent by accident, lingerie or like a remote control thing, a cell phone.
Well, yeah, usually it's
A
just some other
TV.
name or address, like one block
but something
over.
fun, something cool. It was spot on.
Cold
It's
medication,
freaking
yeah,
cold
yeah,
meds.
It's so bizarre.
Have
It's
the
such-
rest of that.
You won't
That'll
eat it.
help you.
So let's get
That's
out of
great.
here.
All right, people, we're out of here.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you tomorrow from
Alex
Shenanigans.
and
Temple Street Eatery.
Go. Who's it tonight? Panthers. Go
Panthers.
Panthers tonight.
Alex and Diego, great
And
job.
Alex, Diego, thanks so much to the folks at Temple Street Eatery. TempleStreetEatery.com if you want to get on board for this Sunday's brunch celebrating Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. That's going to do it for today.
Keep sending
Remember,
him medication.
Enjoy every
Dilaudid.
bowl of ramen and enjoy every sandwich and katsu burger.